Good afternoon, this is Gentleman here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a video about puzzle boxes on old school RuneScape, or EOC, it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm going to make it so that right now, if you want to skip to a certain part of the guide, you can by clicking on one of the annotated boxes in front of your screen right now, or you could just watch the whole thing for the full guide and the most knowledge that you need to complete your puzzle boxes today. Alright, so a lot of people have trouble with puzzle boxes in RuneScape. They might get a clue and they'll drop it immediately because, oh no, they had to do a puzzle box to complete it. I'm going to be here telling you that it's not that difficult once you know how to do it. It'll actually be easy for you to complete these whenever you want for your clue scrolls. Now, if you follow this guide and watch it, you might have to watch it more than once to understand it completely. You'll have to test it out yourself, but it will work 100% of the time. It will never fail to complete you the puzzle box. It will always work. I can usually complete a puzzle within a minute, maybe a minute and a half if I'm having difficulty with it, but it's really easy using this method. So if you want to learn how to be able to do these puzzle boxes with supreme ease, then keep watching the guide. I'm going to move on to the next section now. So RuneScape puzzles that we see in quests and in clue scrolls are really basically imitations of what have been used for centuries as sliding puzzles where the piece would actually slide. You might have seen them as a kid, you might have played them, you might have always hated them like I did. I hated them as a kid. Anyways, there are 24 pieces and one empty piece. The empty piece will always end at the bottom right corner. Once you finish the puzzle, your empty piece will be at the bottom right corner. Now, it shouldn't be that difficult to do, but the most important thing that you need is a picture of the finished puzzle so you know where each piece is gonna go. Now, with this strategy, I'm assuming that you know where each piece is gonna go. Like, you can just look at the picture it's gonna be very simple. You're gonna be only dealing with three different pieces at a time, so you're not going to be too mixed up anyways. Now in this guide, we're going to be breaking up the number of pieces into 3 different sets. Set 1, set 2, and the final set. Now in these sets, you're not going to be using more than 3 pieces at a time, so you're going to have 3 in the first set, then 2 in the first set, for all of them, all the way down. And then in the second set, you're going to be dealing with only 2 pieces at a time, so 1, 2, and 3. And then in the final set, you're going to be dealing with 3, but it's the easiest of them all, so it's really simple. Here, I'll number the ones that you're going to be doing in order. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Don't worry, it'll be really simple once I explain it. Now the first and most basic thing about puzzles is that you're going to know how to move the pieces around. Now this is really important because you need to make the pieces go exactly where you want them to go. And if you don't know how to move them properly, then you won't actually know and be able to complete the puzzles as easy as you would be. So all you're going to have to do to move a piece is to click a piece that is adjacent to the empty area, and then they will switch so that the piece that was there will move into the empty area, and the empty area will be where the piece used to be. Let's say you want this piece here to go into this spot right here. First, you would want the empty piece to be in front of it, because every time you click on the piece, it will move into the empty piece, right? So then you would always want it to go in front of it so that it will move the piece along towards its destination. So the first step would be to click on it, and to make sure that the empty piece was in front of it. After you clicked on the piece and brought it into the space, then you would make the empty piece go around the piece so it's in front again, so you're able to make it go forward again. Then you would complete this process over and over until the piece was in the desired spot. Alright, so you remember when we talked about sets? Well, now we're going to be looking at the first set. We're going to be doing all of this 15 squares. We're going to put them all in place in order. So what we're going to do is take a look at the first line, the top line right there. So we're going to start with the left hand 3 right here, and we're going to put them in starting from the left, this one, then this one, then this one. Just put them in normally like I showed you before, how to move the squares into the place. It's very easy to do. Just move them. Remember to bring the empty square around so you can bring it in. Alright, so once you're done this, you're going to take a look at the 2 squares right over here. Now these ones are going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to use a special strategy that I'm going to show you in a second to put them in properly, because you won't be able to do it just like the other ones. So you're going to take the square here, I'll show you right here, that should be in the top right hand corner, and you're going to put it right here. And the reason for that I'll show you in a minute. Now the other square that should be in the place where that square is, you're going to put it underneath, alright? And you'll see right now that you're going to go around both of those squares and put your empty square in the top right hand corner, so that you can just move those two right in like that. Once you are able to move it in like that, then you don't have to do anything else afterwards. The line is done. You're going to repeat this process for the other 3 lines, which should be pretty easy, because it's just, you have a lot of spaces to move, and it's the only hard part, I would say. It's not even hard, but a little bit more tricky is the last 2 squares, but once you get the hang of it, it should be really easy. Alright, so now we're moving on to the second set. It's pretty much the same thing as those 2 squares you were doing at the end of each line, except on a different way. You're doing it, before you were doing it horizontally, now you're doing it vertically. So it's just, you're gonna flip it over. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the square that should be here, and you're going to bring it here. Alright, so then you're going to get the square that should be here, and you're going to bring it here. After you do that, all you have to do is go around them like this, and put them into place, lock them into place like you did with the other ones. Repeat it for the last 3 there, and you should be done the second set. Now the second set is a little bit more difficult because you have a lot less maneuvering room, but it's not that difficult at all, because it's just, if you stick to this, it should be simple. Alright, so now we move on to the third and final set. Now all you have to do in this grid of 4 different squares is you have to move them around until they're in the right place. It's super easy, and the empty square should be in the bottom right corner. I hope you enjoyed this guide. I hope it was helpful. I know that a lot of people struggle with this, so I try to make this as informative as possible, and I'm pretty sure that anybody will be able to do puzzles with this. If you have any questions about this guide, then don't feel afraid to ask questions in the comment section. I'll answer everything I see and try to be as helpful as possible. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.